How many Americans had to steal Christmas presents from retail locations this holiday season? That question popped into my mind after reading an article today on foxbusiness.com written by Daniela Genovese titled, "Retail Theft Surges 93% Since Before COVID-19 Pandemic. Retailers Have Not Been Crying Wolf." According to the author, the average number of shoplifting incidents jumped 93% in 2023 compared with pre-pandemic times, and monetary losses for retailers have risen 90% according to the nation's largest retail trade group. Here are my thoughts. This is a sad state of affairs. I feel bad for these retailers who are suffering these losses, especially the mom and pop retailers who may be struggling to remain viable after all of the inflation we have experienced in recent years. Small retailers are likely paying more for inventory, more for insurance, more for labor, etc. Some can't afford these theft losses. I also feel bad for some of the people who are so desperate that they need to steal. I'm sure some people need to steal because they can't afford to purchase what they need in life. Others may steal so they can then sell the items to get money to pay for what they need in life. There are Americans who are struggling financially right now. Some are unemployed, while others are underemployed. Many are trying to figure out how to provide for their families in a world where everything continues to get more expensive. There are some who have resorted to a life of crime because traditional employment hasn't panned out for them. I don't think anyone can say with a high level of certainty that retail theft is only due to organized crime. Even if you believe that, these are humans who are involved with this organized crime. It is someone's juvenile or adult son or daughter that is stealing from retail locations and then providing these items to the organized crime ring that they are affiliated with. Maybe some are doing this to pay for drugs. Perhaps some are doing this to afford food and shelter. Others may be doing this because of greed. I'm sure there are some who have simply become disenchanted with working multiple low-wage jobs to survive. The author of this article referenced David Johnston, who is the NRF Vice President of Asset Protection and Retail Operations. He said people are shoplifting because they know when they have an outlet to sell this merchandise. Some are selling goods online or at a flea market, while others are selling items in mass quantities to local, regional, or transnational organizations who are helping to feed the system. Here are my thoughts. I wouldn't say they are helping to feed the system. I'd say they are helping to destroy the system as we know it. It isn't comforting to walk into a big store and feel like I'm going through an airport security line. I don't like the idea of store employees wearing body cameras, which is what Walmart is testing at a location in Texas right now. I wish we lived in a society where people could sustain themselves without crime. I wish we lived in a world where everyone could be gainfully employed at jobs that provided wages which would allow them to support a family without the use of debt instruments. I wish we lived in a world where people were more civilized. Reflect on how things are here in America in 2024 and compare it to life in the 1970s. Life today is quite different. Sure, we have iPhones, big screen televisions, streaming apps, and cars with all types of gadgets. For me, I was happier back in the 1970s with a little black and white television with bunny ears and tinfoil and a car with crank-up windows and manual door locks. I don't think all of our modern conveniences are worth the changes in society that we have experienced in the past 50 years. Getting back to the article, I read some of the comments beneath it. I'll share some of them with you. The first commenter said, "This is what happens when you don't prosecute people for breaking the law." The next commenter said, 93% is just what was reported. Imagine those thefts that went unreported or unchanged. Another commenter said, "Soft on crime leads to more crime." Defund the police leads to less police. This is not rocket science. Train and hire more police. Hire tough on crime district attorneys and prosecute criminals to the maximum, not the minimum, and you might actually make a difference. I've never understood why liberals love crime so much. The last comment that I'll share with you came from someone who said, I was at a Walgreens that backed up to a huge apartment complex yesterday, and about 50% of their shelves were plexiglassed and needed someone with keys to get the products for you. I have noticed this scenario is consistent with high-density housing. Well, my friends, the commenters always have interesting things to say. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. While some people need to resort to crime to survive, there are others who may be doing well financially, especially the person who recently bought the Home Alone house in Illinois. I read an interesting article on CNBC.com written by Lori Knish, titled, What It Would Cost to Live in the Home Alone Family Today, according to financial advisors. The author of this article said the 5-bedroom, 6-bathroom home in Winnetka, Illinois, where the movie was filmed, was listed for $5.25 million in the spring, and it is still under contract, so the final sales price won't be known until the deal is finalized. To buy that home, it would cost approximately $34,000 per month with principal, interest, and property taxes, along with a 20% down payment and a 7% mortgage payment. A Zillow spokesperson said to live comfortably in that home, you would need $100,000 per month in income if you don't want to spend more than 1/3 of your income on housing costs. Here are my thoughts. It costs a lot to live in these big homes, and this one isn't huge by any means. My friend has a home that is around 30,000 square feet, and that home is very expensive to operate, especially since he has a full-time caretaker for the inside of the home and a full-time caretaker for the grounds, both of whom are salaried and get health insurance. Sometimes your home can end up owning you. I have to wonder, how many Americans recently found this out the hard way? Some people stretched their budgets to buy homes in the past few years during the housing mania. Some spent every dime they had to be competitive. Some are likely finding out how expensive it is to operate a home, especially those who waived inspections and didn't know what they were getting themselves into. I feel bad for these people. Materials and labor can be very expensive. Fortunately, more and more contractors are offering financing these days because that is the only way some people can pay for the repairs. I'm sure some people rely on 2 incomes to cover all of the home expenses each month. I am a bit worried about what is going to happen if and when unemployment spikes. Our new administration is planning some big moves in 2025. While some may be good for our country, it is certainly possible some may backfire, and people may suffer the consequences. No one has a crystal ball, so it is really hard to say how this will all shake out. I hope people are doing their best to build up an emergency fund to rely on in the event things go sideways. I'm curious, what do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.